Welcome to this session, guys. And the topic for this session is simple interest and compound interest. So, we're going to look at what interests are. These are some of the videos that you can expect from 6th Race. Whenever there is a transaction, by transaction, borrowing or lending, whenever there is a transaction, you find there is a possibility of you having an interest. So, interest we define as when a borrower of money pays a previously agreed upon percent of the principal at fixed time intervals. In addition to the principal, it is called interest. Okay. So to put this in perspective, it is let us assume today I lend to you. I lend 1,000 rupees to you on today. Okay, so let us suppose today is 15th August 1947. So on this date, I lend 1,000 rupees to you. Now, on 15th August 1948, if you give me 1,000 rupees, if you give back 1,000 rupees, guys, is it acceptable? Now, if it is between friends, there is no problem. Okay, I can get the 1,000 rupees back. If it is between friends, if I was a friend to you, I can get it back. But if it is not a friendly transaction, if it is a more like a transaction between two unknown people, what happens is there will always be an interest involved, because the person who is borrowing it, okay, that is you in this case. So I give you this 1,000 rupees, and the person who is borrowing it is you. The person who is borrowing it has to give me, the person who is lending it. Okay, so the person who is borrowing it will give me a fixed amount which we agreed upon. Okay, so let us say that fixed amount is 10 percentage. So you would have seen this. The rate of interest will be mentioned in percentage. Usually when it is mentioned, it is always PA. PA refers to per annum. Annum means 1 year. Annum means it is an year. So it is 10 percentage for 1 year. So rate of interest will always be mentioned along with the time period that it is applicable for. So if it is 10 percentage for 1 year, it will be 5 percentage for 6 months. So depending upon the year, the rate of interest will vary. So right now we agreed upon 10 percentage per annum. Now I want you to understand what this 10 percentage per annum means. What does it mean? It means the interest that you have to give me is 10 percentage of the principal. Okay, so how did this 1,000 become the principal? In any transaction, the initial sum in any transaction is called as principal. So here 1,000 is our principal, right? 1,000 is the initial money that was involved with you and me. Okay, what was initial money that we had? I gave you 1,000 rupees. So 1,000 is the initial money. So 1,000 becomes the principal. So in any transaction, the initial sum that is involved between you and me, or the lender and the borrower, is the principal. So 10 percentage per annum says the interest is 10 percentage of 1,000. So that is the meaning of 10 rate of interest. So whenever they say 10 percentage per annum and the interest is 10 percentage per annum, what it says is, it says interest will be equal to 10 percentage of, so it is 10 percentage of 1000. Okay, now I told you this 10 percentage of 1000 is for 1 year because this interest is per annum, right? So when we say 10 percentage of 1000, this is for a period of 1 year. So for 1 year, the interest is 10 percentage of 1000, which guys will come up to around 100. So for 1 year, the interest rate is 100. So this is how you have to understand rate of interest, principal, sum. Now, so I hope you understand. If we were not friends, I'm going to ask you the same question. If you give me 1000 rupees on 15th August 1948, will I agree with you or will I accept that? No, right? I am going to need this extra 10 percentage per annum. Okay, so in essence, when you're returning, what you should be returning is 1100, where it is a combination of the principal plus the interest for 1 year. Okay, this is per year. So this 100 rupees is per year. So at the end of 1 year, this is what I should get. I should get 1100. Okay, so this is the concept of interests. So here P represents principal, which is 1000. I represents, so N represents the time. Here the time is 1 year. Yes, we just calculated it for 1 year. If it is 2 years, we just use 2. And A represents the amount. So this is the amount. This 1100 is the amount after 1 year. So similarly, we'll have amounts after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and so on and so forth. Okay. So rate of interest, R percentage, is this 10 percentage. So if you understand this, then simple interest and compound interest is going to become very easy. Now, while calculating interests, there are two ways in which you can calculate interest. So that comes back to the topic of this session. It is simple interest. The two ways in which we can calculate is, one way is simple interest, and the other way in which we calculate interest is called compound interest. Right now, just get yourself familiarized with this formula, but we'll really try to understand what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest, as it is crucial for you guys to solve problems. So right now, simple interest is given as PNR by 100. You know what is P? P is principal, N is the time period, R is the rate of interest. And for compound interest, you don't have a direct formula for compound interest as such. You have the formula for the amount of the compound interest. So if you know, amount is equal to principal plus interest. So amount, you can write it as interest. So now you have a formula for amount, you also know the principal. You have a formula for amount, you also know the principal. So just by subtracting these two things, we can find the interest. Okay, so that is the method that we'll use for compound interest. Okay, but without using formulas, I'll try to help you to solve problems without using formulas. That is when your speed will increase. So that's going to be my aim. Now, just to give you an example of simple interest and compound interest, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you a real life example of simple interest and compound interest. Just look at this. See, in banks, you often go to banks. There are two things that happen prominently in banks. Okay. The first thing is taking a loan. The second thing is depositing your money. If you have heard about terms like fixed deposits, it refers to depositing the money. So these are the two major things that happens in a bank. Now when you are taking a loan, see, you are applying again this concept of three things come into mind while taking a loan. Okay, while taking a loan, you will have a borrower. Yes, you will have somebody who is lending it. Yes, lending is the person who is giving the money, who is giving you the money. Borrower is the person who is getting the money. So while taking the loan, the lender will be the bank. The bank will be the entity who will be giving you the money. While borrowing, who is the borrower? It is the person taking the loan. Okay, now the person taking the loan will give interest, and the bank which is lending it will receive the interest. You are understanding this? Yes. So you can see, while taking the loan, this is the process that happens. Let us try to understand what happens while lending, or while depositing your money. While depositing your money, the borrower actually becomes the bank. Okay, or directly or indirectly, the borrowers are the people working in the bank, or the bank itself. They become the borrowers, because by depositing, what you are doing is you are lending the money to bank for them to use it whichever way they want. So you become the person, the lender is none other than you, who is depositing the money. So the banks gives away the interest, and it is you who receive the interest because you are the lender. Okay, so even though taking a loan and depositing the money superficially may seem like two different things, if you look at it closely, they are the same things, right? Because here borrower is involved, lender is involved, and giving and taking of interests are involved. The same thing is involved here. Borrower is involved, lender is involved, and giving and taking of interest is involved. The same thing happens in financial institutions, guys. So if you've looked at financial private institutions which give you money, private institutions which give you loan, private institutions which give you loan for gold. Have you heard about Manappuram gold loans? They give you gold loans. So any institution where they give you loan will always have interest attached with it. So unless it is a friendly transaction where the interest, you wouldn't have interest there, right? So this is. Now comes the crucial part. You going to understand the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Understanding this is very important, because your ability to solve problems directly depends on it. Now, so what we are going to do is we are going to take the same principal amount and the same rate of interest and see how it varies between simple interest and compound interest. So the principal amount that we are taking is 1000, and the rate of interest that we are applying here is 10% per annum for simple interest. But even for the compound interest, we are doing the same thing. For compound interest also, the principal amount that we are taking is 1000, and the rate of interest that we are applying is 10% per annum. It is the same thing. Now, initially, what you have to understand is when the time period is 0 years. Look at this. Time period is 0 years, and here also it is 0 years, 0th year. It means it is the first day of your investment. Yeah, not even a day has passed since you investing your money. Okay, so it is the first day. Now, at this point, you will have zero interest. Yes, your interest wouldn't even have started. Only at the end of day one, some banks will calculate. At the end of month one, some banks will calculate, or at the end of week one, some banks will calculate. On the first day, the starting of the first day, it is like almost you have no interest. It is not like almost, you have no interest. Okay, so your interest is zero. Please, you know the formula. What is the formula? Amount is equal to So we'll take the formula and try to apply it. So you know the formula, amount is equal to principal plus interest. So when this interest part becomes zero, what happens is amount will be equal to what? Amount will equal principal. So at zeroth year, what happens is amount will be equal to principal. So that is the exact reason why I marked amount also as 1000 here and I marked amount also as 1000 here. It doesn't matter if it is compound interest or simple interest. Okay. Your amount is going to be equal to principal if the interest is 0, and it is 0 at the 0 year mark. Now, what we see how it differs between simple interest and compound interest. Now, simple interest, you have to understand it, or I could word it like this. So, simple interest, how I word it is, simple interest is nothing but rate of interest for the principal. So, this is how I word it. So, simple interest is rate of interest for the principal. So, this is how I'll label it. So, or I'll word it. Okay, so rate of interest for principal. So this is how I'll word it, rate of interest for principal. Now how will I word compound interest? Compound interest, I'll word it as rate of interest for amount. So this is the one important thing that you guys have to understand. For simple interest, it will be rate of interest for the principal. For compound interest, it will be rate of interest for amount. Now, I'll explain to you what it means. I'll explain to you what rate of interest for principal means, rate of interest for amount means. Again, I'll just point out the principal here is 1000, the rate of interest is 10%, and we have the same principal 1000 and the same rate of interest 10%. Now, the way you calculate it, I told you what does this 10% mean. I've told you this 10% means we take 10% of the principal and then calculate it for 1 year. Okay, so that will be the interest for 1 year. You take 10% of the principal, that is going to be the interest for 1 year. What is the reason? Here it is mentioned per annum. Okay, so 10% of 1000 is going to be my interest for 1 year. Now, why did I take 10% of 1000? Because just look at this. Here it says rate of interest for principal. Yes, what is the principal? The principal is 1000. So that is the reason why I take 10% of 1000. Now what I'll do is take 10% of 1000. If I take 10% of 1000, I'll get 100 rupees. So this 100 is my interest for what time period? For 1 year. This is my interest for 1 year. So at the end of 1 year, look at what happens. At the end of 1 year, 1100 is my amount. Yes, at the end of 1 year, 1100 becomes my amount. You know, amount is nothing but principal plus interest. Here the principal was 1000 and interest was 100. So add 1000 and 100, you will get 1100. So at the end of first year, it will be 1100. Now, let us see what happens in the second year. How do we calculate the interest for the second year? As you can see, simple interest is rate of interest for principal. So it is always rate of interest for principal. So what happens is, again what you do is, you will take 10% for the principal amount, which is 1000. What is 10% of 1000? It is 100 again. Okay. So similar to the first year, in the second year also, what happens is you will get the same 100 rupees, okay, as interest. So what happens when you add this 100 to this amount that you got in the first year, you will get 1200 as your amount for the second year. Okay, so this is how in simple interest the interest remains the same each year. There won't be any change in the interest in simple interest. Okay, under simple interest. But this is a very important principle. We'll be using this in problems. So make sure that you understand this correctly. Simple interest for each year is the same. Look at the simple interest for the third year, it is the same 100. Because each time what you are doing is, your the amount varies like 1100, 1200, 1300. The reason is each time you are doing the rate of interest for the principal only. So principal is always 1000, right? There is no change in principal. What changes is amount changes. If you look at the amount, So initially the amount was 1000. Yes, look at this. So here the initial amount was 1000. Then at the end of 1 year, the amount became 1100. At the end of the second year, the amount became 1200. At the end of third year, it became 1300, and it will increase similarly for the next fourth, fifth, and the sixth years. Okay, but what you can see is the principal remains the same, but the amount keeps changing. Okay, so that is the reason while you apply 10% for the principal, simple interest will never change because principal will never change. Okay, but I couldn't say that for compound interest, because here you are applying the rate of interest for the amount. You know, amount keeps changing every year, so obviously the interest also will keep changing every year. So as you can see here, it is 100, 110, 121, and there is no constant interest for each year. The interest keeps changing. So the reason is because of this. Now, so as you can see, this is simple interest. Now we look at the compound interest. We look at how compound interests are calculated. So it is very similar to simple interest. The only change is this. Instead of doing rate of interest for the principal, what you are doing is rate of interest for the amount. That is what you are doing. So as you know, the principal is 1000. The rate of interest is 10% per annum. So instead of applying 10% to this value, I am applying it to this value. But it doesn't matter in the first step. In the first step, both are 1000. So it doesn't matter. But if you look at the second step, there is a difference, right? So in the second step, there will be a difference. In the first step, you won't find any difference. So that is why you get the same value of compound interest and simple interest when it is the end of the first year. When at the end of the first year, the value of simple interest and compound interest are the same. We'll use this principle again in problems, so make sure that you make a note of this. But look at the end of second year for simple interest and compound interest, they are different. Look at the end of third year for simple interest and compound interest, they are different. So only at the end of the first year, for same principal amount and rate of interest, you guys have to understand this is for the same. If the principal amount of rate of interest differs, then for the first year you won't get the same amount. So here, as you can see, you're going to apply the rate of interest for the amount. So as you apply 10% for 1000, you're going to get 100. When you get 100, your amount will be 1100. So what happens is, right now the amount has changed to 1100 from 1000, and the next time when you apply 10% for the amount, that is compound interest, right? In fact, there is a term for this. When you apply the rate of interest for the amount, it is called compounding. When you apply the rate of interest for principal, it is not compounding. Compounding is when you apply the rate of interest for amount. So 10% of 1100 will give you 110, which if you add to 1100 will give you 1210. Yes, so at the end of the second year, guys, you will get 1210 as your amount. You know very well that amount is nothing but principal plus interest, right? So amount at the end of second year is nothing but principal, which is 1000, yes, plus the interest for 2 years. So interest for the first year is 100, interest for the second year is 110. What is 100 plus 110? It is 210. So add the 210 to 1000. You will get 1210. Okay, so this is another way of looking at it. So, and again, what you will do is this will become the rate of, this will become the amount. This is the new amount you have here. This is actually 1210. Okay, so there is a mistake here. So this is not 1200, guys. The amount here is 1210. So let me correct it. 1210. Now again, what do you do to find the interest for the third year? You again apply rate of interest for the amount. What is 10% of 1210? It is 1 to 1. Okay, now add this to this, you will get 1,133.1. So this is the difference between simple interest and compound interest. When you apply the rate of interest for the amount, it is compound interest. When you apply the rate of interest for the principal, it is simple interest. So there are few things that you must notice here. Okay, so I want you guys to note a few things here. It's very important. The first thing that I already told you, it is that the simple interest remains constant. The interest remains constant each year in simple interest. So look at this. But that is not the case here. But what you can observe here is the increase percentage from 100 to 110, from 110 to 121. What do you think is the increase percentage? From 100 to 110, 110 to, it is the same. It will be the same. So the increase percentage here and here will be the same. And guys, that will be equal to R percentage or 10% in this case. Okay. So that will be equal to 10%. What is this 10%? It is R percentage. So R percentage is what I call as 10%. So this will be the increase percentage of interest for consecutive years. So the first year it is 100. Second year the interest has become 110. So what is the increase percentage? It is 10%. So this 10% is nothing but R percentage. Okay. Let us suppose here it was 15%. Then the increase percentage here would have been 15%. So this would have become 15. So right now that is not the case. This would have become 15. Right now that is not the case, guys. But you understand that this would become 15% had R percentage been 15. Okay, right now it is 10. Now there is one other thing I want you to notice. Not only the interest for consecutive years, but also the amount for consecutive years. What is the increase percentage from 1000 to 1100? What is the increase percentage from 1100 to 1210? What is the increase percentage from 1210 to 1331? It is again the same. It is again the same 10%. So I can write the same 10% here also. So you have to note that also. The same 10%. So these are the things that you should keep in mind when you guys take up problems. These three things, I'll repeat the three things once again. The simple interest for consecutive years will be the same. The compound interest for consecutive years will increase at a constant rate, which will equal R percentage. The amount for compound interest. So the amount for compound interest for consecutive years will also increase at the same rate, which is 10 percentage, which is R percentage, which is given here. So the rate of interest, so to put it in a nutshell, simple interest is when you calculate the rate of interest for the principal, and simple interest will be the same for each year, and the amount for consecutive years in SI forms an AP. And one point that I'd like you to note here is, guys, now just look at this. If you note here, look at the amounts for consecutive years. Here it is 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300. How does this look like? This looks like an AP. This looks like an arithmetic progression, right? With common difference of 100. That 100 is nothing but the interest. Okay. So this is actually the amounts for simple interests for consecutive years is actually an arithmetic progression with the common difference of interest, where the simple interest is the common difference. Okay, so that is also one more thing that you can note. Not only that, not only the amount for simple interest, if you watch carefully the amount for compound interest, this is 1000, 1100, 1210, 1331. This is actually in compound geometric progression. Okay, there is a ratio. The ratio is the same, which means 1100 divided by 1000 is the same as 1210 divided by 1100. So the ratio here will be the same. So I could say 1000 divided by 1100. This will be the same as 1100 divided by 1210. Now this will be the same as 1210 divided by 1331. So this is geometric progression, right, guys? If you know what is geometric progression, the ratio of consecutive terms will be the same. Okay, so here you see that all these are same. You solve this, you will get 10 by 11. Solve this, you will get 10 by 11. Solve this, you will get 10 by 11. Okay, so the ratio here is the same. So the amounts for consecutive years in simple interest are in arithmetic progression. The amounts for consecutive years for compound interest are in geometric progression. So this is also something that you can note and use. So for compound interest, the rate of interest is for the amount, and CA for each year is R percentage more than the previous year, and amount for CI for each year is again R percentage more than the previous year, and the amount for consecutive years in CI forms a geometric progression. Principal and amount is same during the time of deposit. So this is not only for compound interest, this goes for both compound interest and simple interest. So, and we already know what the reason is. Now, in compound interest, there is one extra thing that you will have to learn. It is about compounding half-yearly, compounding quarterly, compounding annually. What does it mean? You already know what it means. I just have to point it out. I've told you, just look at this word. This word is compounding. So if you recollect, I would have told you compounding is nothing but you can replace the word compounding with the words rate of interest for amount. So compounding is the same as rate of interest for the amount. So what I'll do is I'll type rate of interest for the amount here. Okay, so rate of now this is compounding. So You could this and compounding are synonymous. You could replace compounding with these set of words. Okay, they mean the same thing. Okay, now this application of rate of interest for the amount in the previous problem. So let us go back and see this application of doing rate of interest for the amount. Yes, in this problem, guys, happened at which points? Pay close attention and tell me at which points did this application of doing rate of interest for the amount or applying rate of interest for the amount happen. It happened first at 0th year. Yes, at the starting you did that, right? The 10% of 1000, what is it? It is 100, you got it. Then you did it at the first year. Then you did it at the second year. Then you did it at the third year. So you're doing it at what time intervals? You're doing it at intervals of 1 year. Now, what does it say? It means you are doing rate of interest for the amount annually. Now, rate of interest for the amount can be replaced by the word compounding. So, compounding is done annually. Yes, I hope you got it. Now, instead of this, if compounding is done once in 6 months, instead of doing it once every year, if it is done once in 6 months, then it is called compounding half yearly. If it is done once every 3 months, then it is called compounding quarterly. Now, we'll see compounding half yearly so that you have a better understanding. So we see compounding half yearly. Now, the first thing that you should do when you are compounding half yearly is to find the rate of interest for 6 months. Okay, the reason is pretty simple, guys, because the rate of interest that is given here is for 1 year. Okay, because you are compounding for 6 months, your rate of interest should be what? For 6 months. So that is what is here mentioned here. It is 10% for 6 months. Now, some of you might not understand how this 10% came about. Let us suppose for 1 year, the interest amount that you get is 1000. What will be the interest amount for 6 months? The interest for 1 year is 1000, guys. Then what will be the interest for 6 months? If that is my question, you will say 500. Am I right? Now, guys, interest is it directly proportional or indirectly proportional to the rate of interest? It is directly proportional. If the rate of interest increases, your interest will increase. If the rate of interest decreases, your interest will decrease. So what it means is, if it is directly proportionate, the interest for 1 year is 1000. Interest for 6 months is half of that. So similarly, the rate of interest for 1 year is 20%. The rate of interest for 6 months will be half of that, which is 10%. So once you found the rate of interest for 6 months, so we'll be doing the process of compounding every 6 months. So the compounding first will happen at 0th year. It will happen here. Then it will happen at 6 months mark. Then the next time it happens is at 1 year mark. So this is compounding half yearly, right? Compounding means applying rate of interest for the amount at the interval of 6 months. So compounding is applying the rate of interest for the amount. So compounding half yearly refers to the process of applying the rate of interest for the amount at intervals of 6 months. So here we are doing that. So at 0th year, you apply 10% for 100. Or in essence, what is happening is for the first 6 months, you are applying 10%. So for first 6 months, when you apply 10%, what is it that you get? You get 10 rupees. So at the end of 6 months, you will get 110 rupees. Now at this point, you apply again 10% because for the rest of the 6 months, yes, from 6 months to 1 year, what is the time period? It is 6 months, right? For the rest of the 6 months, the rate of interest is again 10%, right? So we're going to apply 10% for 110. When you apply 10% for 110, guys, what you get is 11 rupees. That is 10% of 110. So finally what you get is 121 at the end of 1 year. Okay. Now I want you guys to imagine this. Okay. Let us assume you doing it, doing compounding annually. The same amount. Okay. I want you to do this. The same amount 100. The rate of interest is 20% per annum. Had you done compounding annually, what would have been the result? See, this is the result of compounding half yearly. Now we are going to look at the result of compounding annually. We'll look at that and see the difference. Okay. Now what happens is, in compounding annually, what I try to do is, so this is, it will somehow look like this, right? In compounding annually, it will be like 100 will be there. Okay, your rate of interest is 20% per annum. So this is going to be your rate of interest. Now at this point, this is zeroth year. Okay, at this mark is 0 year mark. Okay, so zeroth year. So that is how we see this. This is zeroth year. Okay, now at the end of 1 year, at the end of 1 year, what will happen is, you take this 20 percentage. So for this period of 1 year, guys, from 0 to 1 year, this period, what is the rate of interest? It is 20 percentage, okay, per annum, per year. So for this period of 0 to 1 year, the rate of interest is 20 percentage. This 20 percentage you will apply it to this 100, okay, because 100 is the principal and the amount at this point. So it doesn't matter if you apply it to the principal or the amount, you are going to get the same thing, right? Because both are same. Okay, so what happens is, at this point, principal and amount are the same, 100 rupees. So this 20 percentage being applied to amount will give you 20 rupees. Okay, so this is going to give you, guys, rupees 20 as the compound interest. So your compound interest is rupees 20. Now what will happen at the end of 1 year? At this point it will be 120. Yes. So for this principal and interest rate, you should have actually gotten 20 percentage increment. Okay. Yes, that is what the 20% says. Okay. But actually, how much did you get? You got 21% increment. You did not get 20% increment. You got 21%, and that was all due to this compounding half yearly process. It is because of this, if you had you done compounding annually, you would have gotten 120 only. Okay, so like this, you would have gotten only 120. But because you're doing compounding half yearly, instead of getting 120, you're getting 121. Or in other words, instead of getting 20 percentage per annum as the interest, the rate of interest has become 21 percentage. Yes. So here also it is the same 20 percentage only, which is mentioned. So when I say 10 percentage for 6 months, it is 20 percentage per annum. So you should have got only 20 percentage increment or increase. But here what is the increase? Here it is not 20 percentage increase. It is 21 percentage increase. Okay. So guys, so the given 20 percentage is called nominal rate of interest, and 21 percentage is what we call as effective rate of interest. So you must understand the difference between nominal rate of interest and effective rate of interest. They are, the nominal rate of interest is the rate of interest that is given. Nominal means namesake. For just namesake, it is 20 percentage. But what is the actual rate of interest? Actual rate of interest is actually 21 percentage, which we term it as or name it as effective rate of interest. Hope that is clear.
So the question is this: a sum of money doubles in 7 years under simple interest. How many years will it take to become 4 times itself? So let us take the initial amount to be 100. Now what happens is 100 becomes 200 in a span of 7 years. So this is what is given, that 100 becomes 200 in a span of 7 years. Now how long will it take for this 200 to become 400? So this is what we are going to find out. uh, Initially we had 100 rupees. This 100 became 200 in a span of 7 years. Now how long does it take for this 200 to become 400? Now the obviously the key thing here is the interest. I'd say it is simple interest that we are calculating here. For compound interest it is a different way, so we'll have a look at that later. But right now you'll have to find how long it takes for 100 to become 4 times itself. Now, you guys know in simple interest, each year the interest is the same. Yes. So, what happens is, if each year the interest is the same, every 2 years the interest will be the same, right? Every 7 years the interest will be the same. So, every 3 years the interest will be the same. Every 4 years the interest will be the same. 5 years, 6 years. So, every 7 years the interest will be the same. Here, for 7 years, the interest that you guys get is 100 rupees, right? The interest you guys get for 7 years is 100 rupees. What will happen for the next 7 years? For the next 7 years, the interest that you get will be 200 rupees, right? And for the next 7 years, the interest that you guys get will be 300 rupees. So you add this 300 to this 100, so you will get 400 rupees. So it takes 21 years under simple interest for a principal to become 4 times of itself. So if you have a look, so for it to become 200 to become 300, it will take 7 years, right? For 300 to become 400, it will take 7 more years. So totally, 7 plus 7 plus 7 will give you 21 years. So you guys know in simple interest, each year interest is the same. Therefore, first 7 years gives rupees 100. Then second 7 years again gives rupees 100. And the third 7 years also gives the same rupees 100 as the interest. So that is the key concept here, guys. Simple interest, interest is the same every 7 years. So that is the key concept here. So it takes 21 years for rupees 100 to become rupees 400, which is 4 times 100. Now the same question, we're going to look at how it is done in compound interest. Uh, I don't know if you guys remember this. In compound interest, guys, this is what happened. Okay, so we had initially 1000 rupees. Okay, the rate of interest is 10 percentage per annum. So this became 1100. Again, the rate of interest was 10 percentage per annum. This became 1121. This became 10 percentage per annum. And again, 10 percentage will give me 1331. So this is compound interest. So this compound interest, here you can see each year the interest is not the same. So here it is 110, here it is 120, here it is 100, here it is 121, and here it is, sorry, here it is 100, here it is 110, and here it is 121. So as you can see, the interest is not the same. But what is same is the increase percentage. The increase percentage from 1000 to 1100 is the same. From 1100 to 1210 is the same. 1210 to 1331 is the same. So what is same is the increase percentage. So what is this increase percentage? If you find this increase percentage will come up to something like 10 percentage. And guys, what is this 10 percentage? This 10 percentage, as you can see on the right hand side, is the rate of interest. So you can see it on the right hand side, right? This 10 percentage, you can see it on the right hand side, is the rate of interest. Okay, so this 10 percentage is the rate of interest. So this setup, where you just, the question is the same, but the only difference between the previous one and this one is that it was simple interest and here it is compound interest. So in simple interest, each year it is the same. Each year under simple interest, the interest will be the same. But in compound interest, the rate of the increase percentage will be the same. So for consecutive years, the increase percentage will be the same. And if you find the increase percentage, that will be the rate of interest. Okay. So here what we'll do is we'll take 100, which is the initial amount. So you can see if I take 100, which is the initial amount, the increase percentage for 7 years will be there, because increase percentage for each year is the same. For 7 years, for each of the 7 years, it will be the same. For 7 years, there will be a certain increase percentage. For the next 7 years, you will have the same increase percentage. For the next 7 years, you will have the same increase percentage. So here, the increase percentage is the same, not the interest. Here, the increase percentage is the same. So from 100 to 200, what is the increase percentage, guys? So can you guys tell me from 100 to 200 what is the increase percentage? From 100 to 200 the increase percentage is actually 100 percentage. If the increase percentage is 100 percentage, then what is the increase percentage for the next 7 years? It will be again 100 percentage, right? What is 100 percentage of 200? It is 200. So for the next 7 years, it will become 400. Okay. So as you can see, it took 3 steps under simple interest, but in compound interest, it is just taking 2 steps, and within the 2 steps, you are getting the amount 400. It is because it is percentage increase. So here also the percentage increase is 100 percentage. So you'd say 100 percentage is the percentage increase here. So you'd say 100 percentage. So increase percentage is the same, and also this increase percentage, guys, is the rate of interest for that particular data. Okay, so this is compound interest. So it takes 14 years. It takes 14 under simple interest. It took 21 years. Under compound interest, it takes 14 years. So as you can see, in simple interest, sorry, in compound interest, each year interest increases by the same R percentage. Therefore, in first 7 years, it increases by rupees 100, which is 100 percentage. Then second 7 years, it will increase by rupees 200, which is the same 100 percentage. In total, it takes 14 years for rupees 100 to amount to rupees 400 under simple compound interest. So the simple interest for a certain principal and a certain rate of interest for the first year is rupees 3000. What is the sum of interest in the 7th, 8th and the 9th years? Now you guys know simple interest each year is the same. So for the first year, if it is 3000, what will be the simple interest for the second year? Same 3000. Third year, same 3000. Fourth year, same 3000. For seventh year, same 3000. Eighth year, same 3000. So for any given year, simple interest will always be the same. Therefore, the sum of 7th, 8th, and the 9th years is 3000 plus 3000 plus 3000, which comes to around 9000 rupees. Again, without understanding the concept, you cannot answer this question. No formulas will help you. Do you have a principal? Do you have a rate of interest? Do you have a time period? No, there is no PNR. So try to understand the concept. A certain sum amounts to 8500 and 9350 in the third and the fourth years under compound interest compounded annually. What is the rate of interest? R percentage. So a certain sum amounts to 8500 and 9350 in third and the fourth years under compound interest. Guys, here again you are looking for compound interest, CI. Now, if you're looking for compound interest, what happens is, you know, in simple interest, each year the interest is the same. In compound interest, I'd say, in compound interest, your rate increase percentage will be the same each year, or yes, you could say increase percentage will be same for each year. The increase percentage for each year will be the same, or instead of saying each year, I will say consecutive years. So consecutive years will be the same. So the increase percentage will be the same for consecutive years. So what happens is here we've been given the amount of consecutive years. So what is the amount of consecutive years? It's 8,500 and then it is 9,350. So what is the increase percentage here? The increase percentage here is actually 10 percentage. If you calculate the increase percentage, which is 850 divided by 8,500 into 100. So if you calculate this case, you'll get 10 percentage. Now this 10 percentage, I told you rate of interest, the increase percentage is nothing but the rate of interest, right? So this is the rate of interest. So again, by understanding the concept, you can see you're getting answers within seconds. Okay, so that is again, you cannot, there is no principle given, there is no time period given. You are asked to find the rate of a person in rate of interest. So here you'll have to understand the concept, guys. Without understanding the concept, it becomes very difficult for you to answer this question. But once you understand that in simple interest, the interest will be the same each year. In compound interest, the increase percentage will be the same each year. And that increase percentage is nothing but the rate of interest. Now, finally, I'd like you to remember this difference between CA and SI for the same principle, the same